Hi, my name is Kayla Schultz. I plan on majoring in management and minoring in psychology. The purpose of this meeting today is to learn more about a career that I tend to
Okay.
pursue. The relationship between Michelle and I is we do not have a relationship. Um, what is your name
My name is Michelle.
and what is your job title?
I work as an interior designer for Del Mar Construction, and we're also opening up a design studio called Collective.
And how would you, and a brief description of your responsibilities?
So with Del Mar, I'm doing the interior design. So I'm basically in charge of the projects that they're doing for construction. So basically, uh, doing the design for the projects,
Mhm.
um, coming up with kind of like the layout of the entire house, working with the client each week with what they want and need for the house, the styles they like, just going room by room, making sure that we are checking off everything that is needed. So when they move in, everything is perfect for them, and just making sure that I'm kind of like a communication between the contractor and the
Mhm.
client with the design and the build, for the most part. So,
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And how long have you been employed full time?
with Del Mar, it's been about 2.5 years.
And then what sector do you work in? Did you say it was just like the communication between the two?
Yeah, like the industry, like we're just mostly construction
Okay.
industry. Mhm.
And what are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced in the workplace?
With interior design, I would say quality control with like supply chain. So an example would be this project that we had that we're on recent that we're doing right now. We have a custom door being made for this house, and we know that the lead time is about 12 to 13 weeks. So we made sure we ordered it in advance. But there's also things that are out of our control because this company is having this door made out of the country, so it has to come over by boat,
Mhm.
and so it has to wait for the boat to fill up to be able to leave the port. So it will
Okay.
not just ship out when it's ready. So our door was supposed to be in February. It is now April. We still don't have the door. So it's probably going to be pushed back to about mid to late April. So those are the challenges that you have to work with, and just make sure you're communicating that with the client because it's out of our control. So I think that's kind of the biggest challenge that we have right now.
And how do you address that with your clients and make it as not a big deal as some of the clients would think it would be? Like pushing back
So
that.
yeah, making sure like
Yeah.
it's like they're okay with it.
Yeah.
So kind of we're kind of been used to this since COVID, like kind of
Mhm.
in 2020. Everything kind of got pushed back where lead times, like even Pottery Barn, has taken a really long time to either get stuff in. So I feel like as long as we are upfront with communication with the client from the beginning, letting them know like, hey, we ordered it this day, this is the current lead time, and just updating the client as you go when you hear from the vendor, then they're pretty much okay with it. If you're open with the communication with the client, if I'm not telling them about the port and not the boat not being able to fill up
Okay.
and leave, um, the client then would in turn get mad at me and think that I dropped the ball. So I
Yeah.
don't want them to think that I'm dropping the ball. So I think communication is number one with them. And then as long as you're communicating and just upfront and, take if you take responsibility or I can't think of the word, but if you're just upfront with them, then for the most part, clients are pretty much okay with it and they understand because it's not in my control.
Okay. And then
Mhm.
with the communication, does it need to be written or can you verbally like just talk
I
about
like to do most previously written, just so you
Okay.
have like a record.
Yeah.
So, depending on the client, some clients like emails, some clients prefer text messages. So as long as, even if I talk to them on the phone, I'll
Mhm.
even send like a reminder, like, or hey, just wanted to send you an email or a text about our conversation we just had. Here's the update that we talked about. And as long as
Okay.
I send that, I just like to make sure everything is in writing and documented, just because you never know, because they'll forget, hey, you never told me that. Well, actually, we did. We talked on the phone this day, and I sent you an email. So,
Okay.
as long as you're kind of keeping that paper trail, then I think that's the best.
Okay. That makes sense. And then what would
Mhm.
you say is your favorite part about working at Del Mar?
I like the creativity part of it.
Mhm.
So, in working with the clients, because it's a little customer service as well. So, um, coming up with like the design for their dream home, I think that's the best part of the job, where you can dream with them and make their dreams come to reality. So I think that's the best part of the job.
Awesome. And then what's like the social media aspect of being an interior designer?
So social media aspect is a lot. So I'm a little older, so social media to me is harder. But I do have a girl that we use for social media. And if you're not present on social media, then I think that your business will not grow as much as you want it to. I think you need to be in social media to grow your business, because that's where we get most of our leads from, is, word of mouth and social media. We don't really do any advertising. And we like to get referrals from, current customers or past customers, because we've done, such a great job that
Mhm.
we like to basically work that way. But I have someone that runs the social media for us. So I'll take a couple of videos and pictures, and she'll upload, make all, I don't know how to make reels. So she'll do all the reels and everything
Yeah.
for me. So I think social media is a key part.
Okay, that's awesome. And going off of what you said with like how you hired somebody to
Hmm.
do the social media, how would you say your management style is?
With managing a couple of employees, I would
Mhm.
say I just like to be, I don't know the styles that they have, but just no, let's say
Yeah, you can take your time with it.
transformational.
Yeah.
Okay, is that, I think, is that a style? But so just anything that's like positive changes, helping, individuals and the whole team
Mhm.
realize, they're kind of full potential. So always try to be positive. I want to guide them kind of a little bit outside of their comfort zone,
Yeah.
but challenge them to kind of learn and grow professionally, because if you're not learning and growing professionally, your business isn't going to grow. So
Mhm.
you want your people to grow and be happy. So that's kind of like my focus on how I would manage employees,
Okay.
if
And
that makes any sense.
no, it makes sense. And then
Okay.
with conflict between an employee and you, like how would you say you would handle that?
A conflict between me and an employee,
Hmm.
like if
Or
we had
between
like a,
two employees, whichever one.
okay, how would I handle a conflict?
Hmm.
um how would I handle a conflict? So it depends on the situation of the conflict, but I always try to obviously talk with the person first, if it's between me and an employee or the two different employees.
Hmm.
Um, and you need to also, like, because with management, you have to know people's different personalities and how they respond to the way you speak to them. So
Hmm.
you have to know this person and be able to talk to them the way that they're going to respond, positively versus negatively.
Hmm.
So depends on the person. So I think that's number one, is knowing their personality and listening, and then giving them the feedback that they need. So you need to identify kind of what points people agreed or disagreed upon. Once I kind of get those, then figure out kind of where the conflict was, and then I like to come up with a plan, or have either that employee come up with a solution too. So like if you come to me with a problem, then I want to figure out what the problem was, how did we get there, and then what do we think is a good solution, and then work with them to get through it.
Okay.
So, and then just kind of follow up with that plan after, and so we can get to the success point that we need to get to.
Okay. That makes sense. And then how would how do you prioritize tasks and delegate responsibilities to ensure the team's success?
So that is something that you have to have if you want your business to be profitable and successful. So we use software for that, and
Mhm.
then within that software, it's called I don't know if you've heard of Monday. It's
Mm-mm.
like okay, so it's like a scheduling software.
Okay.
So we use that to kind of schedule each job with the weekly tasks that need to be done, and then you can you can assign it to um, an employee, and
Mhm.
their job is to get it done, by a certain date, and it'll show us each week the percentages of how much they're getting done. So when we have, excuse me, when we have a meeting
Yeah.
about like that specific job, I can already see the progress that they're at. So they can easily check it off. So I don't have to micromanage them.
Mhm.
So it's, which a lot of employees don't like that. So it's just kind of the schedule that they check off in a to-do list. And I think that's very important to streamline your business, because you can waste a lot of time going back and forth and saying, hey, did you do this? Or I don't. So they know every day when they come in what they need to be doing.
Mhm.
So that that pretty much keeps them on track to do what they need to do and be successful to keep our jobs on schedule.
Okay. That makes sense. And then what would you say like you would do like how you would communicate if somebody isn't getting done what needs to be done? Or I know you say you have like a schedule for everything, and I know like with construction and interior design, your clients expect it like
Mm-hmm.
everything's so fast and so much progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, how would you communicate with like your employees if they weren't getting done what needed to be done?
So that's like the beauty of that Monday software,
Okay.
where I can see like if they've completed it, they can check that if they're working on it, and then they can check if they're stuck on it. So it'll be like color coded, and it'll
Okay.
tell me like, this person is stuck on this. So then I can see it and I can say, hey, Kayla,
Yeah.
I see that you're stuck on this for this job. What's going on? What can I help you with to make sure we get this done for this week? Because the clients are expecting an update each week, and that's on the checkoff list is updating the
Yeah.
client. So I need to be checking this Monday software every day just to make sure the team is on track. And when they're not, then I step in to try to help them and accomplish it for the week. So that's, I think, the beauty of that software is where I can see where people are doing well and need help.
Awesome. Okay, and then this kind of goes like hand in hand, but what strategies do you implement to motivate and engage your team?
So to engage, I like to do a weekly team meeting in
Mhm.
person. So yes, we have the automation with the Monday software, and I can kind of see, and they can kind of work from wherever they need to work from. But I personally like to meet people face to face as well, because it's just kind
Mhm.
of like a camaraderie thing, and people get excited. They like to, talk in a team setting. So a weekly team meeting, kind of follow up on the Monday tasks, get everybody motivated for the next week coming up, and everyone excited. And I like to kind of praise the people. Hey, like, great job, you guys did XYZ for the week, or you, since we've done this, we're ahead of schedule. So we can kind of do this and plan for the next week. So I think a weekly team meeting is needed to
Okay.
keep the camaraderie going. And then for to motivate them, we kind of came up with a new plan of extra earning extra commissions and bonuses by
Okay.
make it, or like a fun contest or something like that, to where if we are ahead of a schedule or we finish a project earlier than expected, employees can earn, you know a bonus, or we can do a fun event. So just we kind of just started that to kind of make people a little bit more motivated, because I
Yep.
think people are motivated by money, and some people are also competitive.
Yeah.
So I think that doing something fun like that every month keeps people engaged.
Okay, that's awesome. Um,
Mhm.
okay, and then can you share an example of a project you successfully managed and why, or if, or why you enjoyed it so much? Yeah, you can take
Um,
time to think too about, there's no rush.
okay, so successfully managed, and what else?
Successfully managed and why you enjoyed it.
Okay. Um, we've actually have a current project. It's not like completely done, but it's a project that it's from somebody that I that's new to town, but I know them,
Hmm.
and they were working with another company and came to me for help on, just like a kitchen. And so I went in to see the kitchen and help them design it, because they were with another contractor, which is completely fine, because
Yeah.
at Collective we work with other contractors
Hmm.
on other projects. So I was totally open for that, and I really wanted to help out this new couple that I just met that were really nice. And when I went in to talk with them, we came up with a whole kitchen plan, and then went to work with their current general contractor, and they had a draftsman and everything, which was fine. But the people that they were with were not open to working with me. So it was a little bit of a conflict. They were not happy about it. So I told the client, like, I don't want to, put yourself in this position. I'm just going to walk away, and you guys can, work with them, because it seems like that's what they want to do. So
Hmm.
I was going to walk away from this project. And then they kind of realized that the old company was kind of putting them in the direction that they didn't want to go. They weren't going to get the dream house that they wanted.
Yeah.
So they ended up contacting me and saying they wanted to start over, which I don't like to take business from anybody.
No.
Because that's not what I want to do. So because I told them I wasn't going to work with them. Um, but then they kind of found out that the person they were working with wasn't doing things in the proper order, and
Okay.
they weren't doing it with a permit. So that's not very good at all.
Hmm.
So once they realized that that contractor wasn't doing things in the right way, they realized that they were kind of in the wrong hands. So they weren't very far in the process with them, but because they did it wrong. But they left that company, came to me, asked me for my suggestions. I gave them three general contractors to look up, to work with. They pick whoever they want, and they ended up going with us for everything.
Okay.
And they are so happy with the process, because they are being taken care of. Um, and they have actually asked people around town about us,
Yeah.
and everyone has something really good to say. So they're super excited. And we've already got the almost full design done for them for their house. And they're actually going to get their dream house of what they actually want. So I think that this has been successful, because it's just making them happy
Yeah.
and getting them what they want and what they envision, because they weren't going to get that with the last job. So yeah, it's kind of a bad and a good story, but
Hmm.
um, I think it's just, as long as you're honest and upfront with the client, and you are on their side, then I think the project will go smooth and successful. And it has been that since they've started with us completely. So I'm proud that we're now taking care of them, and then that they're very happy, because I believe that once this project is complete, they're going to be so happy that we're going to get referrals out of these people.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a success.
Yep. That makes total sense. That's an awesome story. Thank you so much, Michelle, for today.
Mhm.
It was great. I learned a lot, and it was really cool to see the insight of everything in your business. And I'm really excited to hear more about your new business coming in the future. But thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
You're
today.
welcome. And good luck with everything. I think
Thank
you're going to
you.
do great. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.